True love's first kiss. Yeah. Like that's ever gonna happen. What a load.
Somebody.
Yeah, that's not just the first minute of Shrek, it's a pretty clear statement about the kind of movie you're about to watch. As much as Shrek has become a meme, it's also worth remembering it's the first ever Oscar winner in the animated film category, and despite its third and fourth sequels, is kind of awesome. I went back and rewatched the movie recently, and it kind of struck me just how creative and imaginative the movie was, how well it still holds up, and I think that's for a relatively simple reason. Shrek's deconstruction, its demolition of every movie we all grew up watching and still do, isn't just hilarious, it also works so ridiculously well.
Ogres are like onions.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Shrek was written as a spoof, or even at a narrative level commentary on the Disney fairy tale, a deconstruction of what that looked like. For decades, Disney had dominated the animated space by creating this homogenized version of existing fairy tales, and they're excellent films, but Shrek's script recognizes the value of the structure of those movies, but also recognizes that, hey, maybe there's a generation of people that don't want to see Guy saves princess or Beast gets handsome, and it makes sure you know that right away. Instead of opening with a song introducing some beautiful girl, you get this. A disgusting ogre bathing in mud and eating bugs. It seems grotesque, but it's actually a hilarious response to stuff like this.
Look, there she goes, that girl is so peculiar.
And that almost deliberate response carries through the rest of the movie. Disney loves to give people these comedic relief talking animal sidekicks that almost never show any growth themselves, but are cute and marketable, which is why they exist. Shrek gives you an obnoxious talking donkey voiced by Eddie Murphy that isn't just the opposite of cute, but also manages to marry and procreate with a dragon. He has his own very real character arc. He is in every single way the polar opposite of something like this. And this theme is in the jokes and the writing as well. This isn't a clean-cut fairy tale like the ones you grew up on. The gingerbread man is at risk of being dismembered. There's this song about, well, and the villain isn't some big baddie. There's no transformation into a big monster at the end. In fact, he's barely even a villain at all. He's just a guy that kind of sucks, and he looks like this. This is the DreamWorks version of a Disney movie for a generation of kids and adults that were growing up, that wanted to see these worlds in flames. Shrek is the resulting chaos. But there were other big ways that Shrek kind of turned things around.
I need to find somewhere to camp now!
Shrek takes the more specific tropes of the fairy tale Disney genre and flips those as well. In some ways, it's actually a bit ahead of its time. Shrek, for example, isn't a noble hero, he just kind of wants his land back. In fact, for most of the movie, he's working directly for Farquaad. He even delivers Fiona to Farquaad. He doesn't want anything to do with Donkey or really Fiona for most of the film. But it's Fiona herself that I think makes the movie work, that deconstructs things further. There is no damsel in distress here. This is true love's first...
Wake up!
What?
Command to come on? And Fiona isn't a beautiful princess, she's an ogre, trying to make sure she can become a princess full-time. Whereas normally the Act 3 character discovery is with the Shrek character. Oh wow, my hero is actually a thief, but he has a heart of gold. Or, my prince has been a villain the whole time. Here, it's Fiona that creates that discovery, the princess character instead, and it makes for funny spoof moments like this. And better yet, she does not need help. She's just as capable, disgusting, and interesting as Shrek. She is not the one-note Disney princess with a single-element personality that we've seen so many times. And again, these Disney films are great movies. Shrek just does things differently. And it's not really about the strong female narrative, although that's there. Instead, it's more about providing actual depth and nuance to the generic princess character. It's about writing characters that are worth caring about. The Fiona reveal has a great lead up, and is genuinely surprising if you're going into the movie blind. That's a strength that most movies, like the aforementioned Beauty and the Beast, just didn't have. But that's probably not why you remember the movie. But I think I might know that reason.
Was hoping this would be a happy ending.
The music in Shrek is a punch directly in the face. It is a metaphorical smash in the mouth. Animated films traditionally went one of two ways with their music, even leading up to Shrek. They took the Disney musical approach or the Disney scores approach, in which the music is either presented by the characters themselves through song or scored with original compositions, or they took the pop approach, in which the movie stuffed itself full of the same songs you've heard 8 million times across every movie you've ever seen. Shrek takes the Disney approach, deconstructs that to combine it with that pop approach to create something more unique and also awesome. Shrek treats his pop music like a score instead of a tacked on soundtrack, meaning instead of setting the mood like Disney with its own music, it sets the mood just as well with Smash Mouth. Sure, it still uses that on-the-nose sing-about-love Disney approach, but it flips it on its head. Sideways wrote an amazing piece about this recently, but Shrek uses its music to weave you through its story expertly. From All-Star setting up Shrek's attitude and character to I'm a Believer capping off the change in perception amongst the movie's characters, the film, as Sideways put it, used pop to its advantage while avoiding becoming a Disney musical. But honestly, it's just worth acknowledging that Smash Mouth's presence in this film, coupled with the fact that the lead song of the movie would go on to basically dominate radio, also just goes to show how much the success of a movie's music can mean to how well that movie is remembered. If All-Star, the song, had sucked, or really the movie had opened with anything else, what would be the thing we most remember Shrek for? And that runs its way all the way through to the movie's ending.
Try a little tenderness. The chicks love that romantic crap.
All right, cut it out. When does this guy say the line?
We gotta check it out.
Shrek completes that Disney deconstruction with an ending that manages to carry with it the same, if not more poignant values, while also not falling victim to the same traps. Take Beauty and the Beast. Belle falls in love, true love's first, blah blah, and Beast turns back into this future bachelorette contestant. Sure, the message is love has no face, but does that ending really drive that home? It doesn't appear to. Or Aladdin actually becoming a prince, really driving home that love has no class narrative, even though he's now a prince. Again, great movies, but Shrek strives for consistency. Fiona doesn't end the movie a beautiful princess forever, but she and she alone has to make that decision, even though she found love in an ogre. Nope, she accepts herself as she is and stays an ogre forever. A dragon literally crashes through stained glass to break up a wedding, and a donkey gets busy, again, with that dragon. Shrek doesn't turn into a handsome prince, neither does Fiona, the opposite happens. If the message is love is faceless, if the message is love is what's inside, this ending actually articulates that. It upends the predictable princess forever, and I think drives home that message better than a lot of the typical fairy tale films. Shrek is a meme. Yep, a funny one, but it is still to this day also one of the best animated films ever made, in my opinion. Unlike some other winners of that award, handed out by the Academy, Shrek earned it. Sure, now, some of its more interesting bits of trope deconstruction are a bit ubiquitous. Movies have changed over the past 2 decades, and in some ways caught up with Shrek, but the movie was surprisingly ahead of its time. It never plays as an adaptation. It's totally unique. And that is something that even today is getting more and more rare. But honestly, I'm really just making this video to appeal to Disney. Gingy. Yes, this Gingy should be a character in every movie from here on out, and if DreamWorks won't use him, someone needs to. Do better, guys.
Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me!
I've tried to be fair to you creatures.
That is it for today's episode of Nerdstalgic. If you enjoyed this video, press the like button down below. Also, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything I put out on this channel. And next to the subscribe button is a little bell. You can press that to make sure you're notified of anything I upload. So subscribe and the little bell. And now, really quickly, today's video was sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is trying to make sure 2020 is a year where you can explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity, as they put it. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning, with so much to do, so much to explore, real projects, most importantly, the support of people doing the same thing you're doing. And these are classes for real life, things you can actually use, things that fit you. And it's kind of important, especially if you want to be on YouTube. You can take a class like YouTube Success, which is building an authentic channel that's worth the follow. It's taught by Sorella Moore. It's actually really helpful. It's got a lot of good information, even for someone like me that's been doing this for quite a while. It's also incredibly affordable, and annual subscription is less than $10 a month. But the first 500 of you guys to click the link in the description will get 2 free months premium membership, so you can explore it for yourself. I wouldn't tell you guys it was important for me if it wasn't. Skillshare has a lot to offer a creative, a YouTube creator, or anybody doing anything on social media that wants to learn how to grow that business. So yeah, follow the link in the description down below. And finally, on your screen right now are 2 more episodes of Nerdstalgic. You can click on either of these to see what I've done recently. and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video.